All right, A pushers. This video is to go over the document organizer for a DBQ or for preparation for a DBQ, and then the document-based question, 5-paragraph essay kind of outline that I have for you. So this is to go over what is expected of you for these assignments, and also to kind of give you a sense of preparation for the DBQ. So this document organizer, you can see, basically has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, you know what? I'm going to update it. It should have 7 spots. This is still based from last year. So the one that you'll see will have 7 spots, not 5 spots, but it will have 7. Last year's DBQ only required 5. So this will have 7. Anyway, and basically what you'll do is you go through each of the documents in a DBQ, and you will go through and basically kind of put all this information in here, right? So you'll go to the first document, you put in, okay, what is it? It's doc 1, okay? And then, what is it? Is it a speech? Is it a newspaper article? Is it a poster? Is it a political cartoon? Is it a, there's a wide variety of things that a document could be. But let's say this is a poster, okay? And then the title of the document. So let's say this is a World War II poster of like a Rosie the River, of a woman who's working in the industrial, one of the factories, kind of building the tools of war, the guns, the boats, the tanks, the whatever. So the title of the document is, I don't know, Rosie the Riveter, or We Can Do It, or American Women at Work, or something, right? And then the date of the document. Oftentimes they'll just give you a year. Sometimes they'll give you a specific date. So this might be something like, 1943, or, October 2nd, 1943. So you put that there. Sometimes the title of the document is going to be like super long. If you can't fit the whole thing in there, that's fine. Just do your best, right? Then all I need is a 1-sentence, simple description of the document. Basically, just tell me what it is. This is a poster of Rosie the Riveter, showing women working during World War II in order to create, in order to connect women at work with the patriotic cause of the war. Just something like that. Nice and easy, quick. And then after that, you're going to hip the source. And at this point, I should say, and I should have said this at the beginning, if you have not yet watched my video that I created, that talks all about how to write a DBQ, you should watch that first, and you should watch this second. So you haven't watched that yet, stop this video, go and watch that video, and then come back to this video afterwards so you'll understand what hipping the source means, because that's described in the other video. So you don't have to do historical context and intended audience and purpose and point of view. You have to do one of those 4. So when you look at the document, you'll figure out which one of these make the most sense to me, or which one of these am I most comfortable with. Am I going to do historical? So that's also 1 sentence. Now, if you remember from the other video you've already watched, for each document, you need to basically do 3 things. The first thing you need to do is describe the document. The second thing you need to do is explain how the document supports your thesis. And the third thing you need to do is hip or source the document. On here, I'm only having you do 2 of those things. 1, describe the document in 1 simple sentence, and then you skip the explain how it supports your thesis, and then hip the document. So you're going to do that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then an additional 6 and 7 times, because there's going to be 7 documents for each DBQ. Then what you're going to do is you're going to, this is basically the process that you're going to go through when you actually write a DBQ. Now, you probably won't take the time to actually fill out this document organizer, but you're at least going to mentally go through a process that's similar to this. You're going to evaluate all 7 of the documents. Then you're going to begin to think about, what 3 general categories can I divide these documents in? What are 3 kind of general topics? So let's say the prompt that you're looking at is, what was the impact of World War II on women in America? And you have a series of documents about, women in America during World War II. So let's say some of those documents are about how women went to go work in the industrial factories. That's why you have a Rosie the Riveter poster. So you would put, women at work, or women working in the industrial factories, and then you'd put which documents apply to that. So that'd be like document 1 and document 3, for example, right? Then topic B would say, women who worked in the military, right? Women who were nurses or secretaries in the military during World War II. So you'd put women in the military and say, okay, that's document 2 and document 6 or whatever, right? And then the third document, let's say, is about women who are part of maybe an anti-war, protest group or something like that. And there's a couple of documents about that. So then you would say, anti-war protesters, women as anti-war protesters, and then you would say, that's document, 5, whatever the ones we haven't done yet, right? So you'll have all 7 of the documents. All you have to do is put doc 1, doc 2, or doc 1 and doc 7, and then doc 2 and doc 5, and then doc 3, 4, and 6 or whatever, right? And then topic, topic, topic. And these will then become your first supporting paragraph, your second supporting paragraph, and your third supporting paragraph, right? So again, when you actually write your essay, your DBQ, on the day of the College Board exam, this is a process you'll probably do in your head, or at the very least, this part, going through these boxes is something I'm going to have you do as an assignment right now, so you can get the practice of it. You'll probably do that part in your head, but I do actually strongly suggest you create, just on a piece of scratch paper or something like this, as soon as the test starts, you get to you finish the multiple choice part, you finish the first short answer question part. Now you're on the DBQ part. You open it, you look at it, you read the prompt, you read it again, you read it a third time, you really understand what it's asking you to do. Then you spend about 7 or 8 minutes really looking at these documents, right? About a minute per each document, really understanding what it's talking about. Then thinking about, okay, how would I divide these documents into 3 categories that would fit for an argument I'm trying to make? And again, keep in mind, remember, one of these could potentially be a counter argument. So sometimes there's a counter argument in there too that you could use, and that would go along with the thesis of although A, comma, X because of B and C. Again, if you don't know what that means, you should go back and watch the other video about DBQs. So most likely it'll just be A, B, and C. It'll be X because of A, B, and C, and then you'll have your 3 reasons right here, or your 3 things, but there could be a counter argument in there, so keep that in mind too. So anyway, so this, you're going to be going through this process. You're going to be going through this process. For DBQ, not on the actual day of the DBQ, but for the assignments I'm going to give you. Then the second thing you'll do is you'll go and you'll actually outline your DBQ. So what I have here is this kind of DBQ outline form in which you will go through the actual process of outlining a DBQ. So you'll have contextualization here, you'll have thesis here, you have, this is your introductory paragraph. So you have a large box that's your introductory paragraph. And then you will have your first supporting paragraph, which is paragraph 2. Paragraph 3 is your second supporting paragraph. Paragraph 4 is your third supporting paragraph. And then you'll have your conclusion. Now, again, I walked through all of what you need to do in order to get your points in the other video. You will see here in this column on the right, you don't have to do anything on this column on the right. This is just me reminding you where all of those things that you need to do are located and kind of what you need to do. So this is basically me just kind of putting in the language that I used to describe what you need to do in that video. So I have it all here, right, just as a reminder. And what you need to do is you need to fill out the column on the left. So you need to write your 3 or 4 sentences of contextualization. You need to write your 1 or 2 sentences of thesis. So you really are basically fully writing out your introductory paragraph. Then a 1-sentence topic sentence. Then you're going to get to your first document that you're going to use, right? So remember, your topic sentence basically is kind of like a mini thesis. In your thesis, you are saying, what your 3 topics are. You are asserting historically defensible argument that doesn't just copy the prompt and that clearly lays out what your 3 topics are. Then your first topic will be here. You'll have a topic sentence in which you'll introduce the topic of the first supporting paragraph. Then you will get into each of the documents. So here's what you do with your first document. Remember, you have 1 sentence describing the document. And this is where you say document 1 is, the 13th Amendment, which, ended slavery in the United States, or whatever it might be. Or to go back to the example I was using already, document 1 is a poster of Rosie the Riveter, who's working on, the military ships, et cetera, et cetera. So you just describe it. Then you explain how this supports your overall thesis. 1 to 2 sentences explaining how it supports your overall thesis. And then you're going to source the document. You're going to use HIP. And this is where you can go back to here. You've already done that. And you've actually, frankly, already done the first part here too. So you could just kind of write here what you already wrote here, and then right here what you already wrote here, although these may be not full sentences, and then this you would really want to kind of like actually like spell it out. So you can do that with your first document. Then after you've done your first document, you'll do that with your second document. If there's a third document that belongs in here, you can add that in too. And then you're going to do your outside evidence. And your outside evidence is where you have to bring in something that's not in the documents that you name, describe, and explain. So name it, what is it, describe it, and then explain how it connects to your thesis. So again, basically the same thing you're doing with the documents, except for the hipping part, but it's with a piece of evidence that you've brought in from the outside. So you'll do that for all 3 of these supporting paragraphs. You go all the way through that with the DBQ that I'm giving you. And then paragraph 5 is where you earn your complexity point. All I need to do here is 1 or 2 sentences that basically kind of identify some future topic or trend that you would connect your topic to. Now, again, if you have not watched the other video, which is quite long, there's probably a lot about this that's not going to make sense. So make sure you watch that other video first and then come back and watch this video. But this is basically me showing you what I expect of you when I want you to do a document organizer and then the outline for the DBQ. I'm going to have you do one of these each week during review. Okay. And then on one of them, we'll turn it into a full-blown written SAQ. But I would make this point. Even if we don't actually turn it into a full-blown SAQ, just doing this outline, you're like 85 to 90% of the way there. If you just walk your way through this outline, it gives you a very clear idea of what you need to do for the DBQ. And I'm basically almost having you do the whole thing here just in an outline form, in a way that's not kind of fully baked or fully thought through, but is essentially there. Okay, so that's the document organizer and the DBQ outline. Of course, as always, if you have any questions, you can email me and ask me. Or ask me during office hours. Okay.